Well, hello, everybody, and welcome to the 40th Chicago Open Backgammon Tournament. It's a more Swiss event, and it's really exciting. And by the way, after one full day of competition and 5 rounds, there's only 2 players that are undefeated, Kate Elmore and Chris Trencher, and they're going to be playing each other today. It's all live stream, and the streaming, we have to thank Bill Riles and Tara Mendocino for streaming both this lecture and the tournament, and you can go to usbgf.org and you can see the brackets and updates. Well, this morning I was invited by the great Rory Paskar, who's walking up behind me.
Thank you, Phil, for being here. I appreciate it.
Thank you, and he's running an amazing tournament. That's the main reason I'm here. It's one of the best hospitality and one of the best run tournaments I've ever been to, and the More Swiss is my favorite event. Did you have something to say before we get started?
Yes, I appreciate this is one of your favorite tournaments, but one of the best hospitality? That's very insulting.
Okay. Okay.
No, I just want to say, introduce Phil. I guess he's already been on. You probably know who he is, but he is probably the best educator in backgammon. I've actually called you the mochi of backgammon education in the
Thank you.
world. I have the greatest amount of respect for what you have done for the growth of the game with the youth, high school, colleges, different things you've gotten, tournaments you've gotten started. It's absolutely fabulous, and I appreciate you. And I think you're a perfect person for this kind of fun-filled
Thank you.
lecture. You had a level of humility and humor, not humility, humor
Yeah.
to your lectures, and I think that's what keeps people entertained and coming back for more. And you found two fairly decent
Fish. I
players
found fish.
to go along with you.
Thank
So
you.
I
Thank
appreciate
you.
you being here. Thank you, sir.
I appreciate those words almost as much as what you're paying me. And to paraphrase my one of my heroes, Yogi Berra, I am filled with humidity. So today we're going to have I'll give you a quick little background. A few years ago, about 7, 8 years ago, I was coaching a money player who was invited to play in the Bellagio Backgammon Tournament. They ran a tournament where there was $1 million prize, but the only way you could be eligible to play is if you were one of their high rollers. And most of these high rollers knew nothing about match play. They were money players, or they didn't even play backgammon, but they got a free roll. They didn't have to enter any price to enter. So I was coaching a guy who was in this tournament, and I went to Vegas with him, teaching him take points and match equity and all this kind of stuff. And I get in there, and there's Paul McGrill sitting there because he's coaching somebody, and next to him is Falafel, and he's coaching somebody. Well, the interesting thing is when they start the tournament and they're playing for $1 million, they didn't allow any of the coaches in the room. They thought that we might signal them to win to double and how to think that I would cheat for $1 million. I can't even believe that. So we had to sit outside, and Falafel said, "Well, let's chouette." And I might be dumb, but I'm sure not intelligent. I'm not going to chouette with Falafel and McGrill. So what I did was I created a quiz. I said, let's have some fun. And McGrill suggested that we do a quiz at a score of 2-away, 3-away. He said that's a quiz that for some reason people get the cube action and the checker play wrong a lot. So I created a quiz for them. And by the way, Falafel won. He was certainly a better player than McGrill at the time. But the explanations were fascinating. The positions were fascinating. And I'm going to do the same quiz today because I've got 2 experts that are every bit as good players as Falafel and McGrill were back then. I've got the great John O'Hagan, ranked number 9 giant in the world and a grandmaster and a personal great friend of mine. When I started the Backgammon Learning Center with Perry Gartner years ago, about I think it was 12 or 14 years ago, we instantly had more students than we could handle, and we brought on John O'Hagan and Stick to handle some of the students. But John created almost all of our material on the doubling cube and a lot of stuff on checker play. And I must tell you, you can read every book you want to, and you won't find better methods of using the doubling cube than what John teaches and what he's taught me. So he's one of my favorite heroes. I really don't like Victor at all, but Victor, I bragged. I bragged for 2 months. I played Victor in L.A. I played him Pascal Gammon, a game I created with back games and stuff, and I beat him. And it was so great. I bragged for about 4 months until I met him in New York in Bryant Park, and I had to take a bus home after that. And Victor is also clearly 2 of the best players in the world. So now, why am I doing 2-away, 3-away? Again, McGrill thought it was a great idea and interesting. But the one thing that I do teach every single student of mine and everybody I recommend before you start any game, ask yourself what's going on at the score. What's happening at 2-away, 3-away? For example, what is your take point? What's my opponent's take point? What's the gammon value? Am I going to change my checker play in any way? We know there's certain scores where gammons matter a lot and they don't matter a lot. Certain scores where you're going to turn the cube a lot. So the first thing we need to know at 2-away, 3-away is your take points. And I'm not going to bother my experts on this yet. They're going to get into it. But who in the audience knows what your take point is if you're the trailer at 2-away, 3-away? Art Benjamin, what a surprise that you know this. What is it? The trailer's take point. 25% is exactly right. What's the leader's take point? Who knows that? Let's see if somebody else. Thomas Tenlin. 26%. That's great. So the take points are about the same. However, they're slightly elevated. That means not considering gammons, if you're in a race, you're going to double a little bit faster. You're going to drop a little bit faster. That's important to know. Okay, I'm not going to talk about all the gammon values and everything, but here's one that I really find interesting. What is the backgammon value for the trailer when the cube is in the middle, if you're trailing at 2-away, 3-away? Who knows that number? I guarantee you John O'Hagan knows that number because he taught it to me. Oh, you got a blank look on your face, John. Who knows that number? Art Benjamin thinks he knows the number. He thinks it's 1. Anybody agree? Rory? 2 is closer. Hey, Rory's smarter than Art Benjamin? My God. It's almost 2. It's like 1.97, something like that. If you get a backgammon and you need 3 points to win the match and your opponent needs 2, there's a method of determining that. And I'll explain the math to you later, Art, because he may need some help in that. By the way, as long as Art's here, I want to tell you, I've had over 350 students, and every single one of them, I tell them to buy Art's book, The Secrets of Mental Math. It's incredible. Just the first chapter will save you all kinds of trouble doing math in your head. And you need to do a lot of that in backgammon. All right, let's get into the competition. First of all, I want to show you that for winning, Victor or John, the winner gets this gorgeous watch that is donated by Bel Air Time Company. Alan Grunwald. I got Art in my mind. Alan Grunwald has donated many of these to the USBGF. They're very, very valuable, beautiful watches, and we're going to have a competition between John and Victor. And I have some prizes for the audience after we get into it. Now, here's how the competition works. We're going to show you positions and situations, and we're going to play out a couple of games, different games, at the score of 2-away, 3-away. And they're going to take turns, and I've turned this into not only a duplicate backgammon, but a challenge backgammon. Challenge backgammon is something I play all the time for money and for fun with my students and friends. What happens is one person makes their play, and the other person can say, I agree, or they can challenge it. And if they challenge it, we usually have a bet. Sometimes I've been known to bet up to $1 a point or whatever, but we have a bet on it. In this case, if, let's say, John makes a play and Victor doesn't challenge, let's say that John was wrong. Victor loses a point for not challenging. So John will get a point if he makes the wrong play and Victor is not smart enough to challenge. Now, what if Victor challenges and says, no, I don't like that play, and he has to tell what his play would be? Then whoever is right gets 2 points. Everybody got the scoring? It's very simple, 1 point and 2 points. All right? Rory, you're going to keep score for me. You're going to be here the whole lecture? No, you're going to be busy. Art, why don't you keep score? You don't get too confused on numbers. Okay, so we're going to start at 2-away, 3-away, and Bill Riles is going to bring up the first position. The bottom player is white, and that's going to be Victor. And here is the opening position at 2-away, 3-away. White is on roll, and you can see that white is 3-away, and black will always be 2-away, or is that black or blue? Anyway, the dark color, we'll call it black, is 2-away. And the cube is in the center, and we've gotten to this position. And Victor, you're white, and you're on roll. And the first question I have for you here is cube action. Do you think you should double or not?
So basically, white roll double 6 and 3-1.
Speak into the...
Yeah. So white roll double 6 and the black roll 3-1.
Uh-huh.
Do I double? I'm an aggressive doubler. Normally, I do. Do I double this? I think I double.
Okay. And John, do you take or pass?
Oh, I would take.
Okay. Now, John, do you think he's right to double or not?
Yes, I do.
And Victor, do you think he's right to take?
Yeah, it's a clear take.
Okay. Can we show the answer? Bill Riles is going to take us to the answer. The audience, keep in mind what you think you would do. Okay.
Wow, pass.
So, first of all, Victor loses a point.
For
So
getting
John
this
has what? For not challenging John for getting this wrong. This is a pass at 2-away, 3-away. And this is one of the reasons McGrill suggested this score, because people often get the cube action wrong at these scores.
Interesting.
Okay. Can anyone tell me, anybody got any insight into why you would pass this? I would have taken it too when I first saw it. All right, take a look at, we're looking at Extreme Gammon. For those of you who aren't familiar with it, this is the quality program on backgammon that tells you not only, it gives you insights into why. The biggest reason why is you'll see that white not only wins the game 68% of the time, he wins about 17% gammons. Now, he'll lose gammons about 6%. John O'Hagan taught me how to do gammon adjusted take points. That's a net of 10 gammon losses. And with the cube turned, the gammon value is what, John?
0.48.
0.48. See, I teach 0.5. That's and that's the difference between me and John right there. That's a good example. But it's almost half the value. So those gammons added to those losses, when you know that the take point for the leader is 26%, and you drop the gammon adjusted take point will tell you that it's a big pass, right? If you could have estimated the wins and gammons over the board. So, all right, so we have Victor in the lead, 1-0.
No.
I lost.
Oh, you lost the point. That's right. John is the one that got it wrong. He got the point. It's a great system, huh? Okay, let's go on. Let's move on. Next position, Bill. Well, just 1 point. Just give 1 point for John. Yeah. Okay, so. Huh? He's got it right. Okay, so this is John's roll. John rolled a 4 or 5, and we kept the cube in the center here.
Okay.
So how do you play a 4 or 5, John? Did anybody in the audience pass that cube? Right, show of hands. Jerry Tansey
We knew it's going to be Jerry.
and Rory. Yeah, yeah, Rory got it right after he saw the answer. Right after he saw the answer. Okay. So
Okay,
Tansey's the only one betting 1,000 out there yet. Okay.
Okay, I would play 13-9, 13-8.
All right. He brings 2 down. Victor, you can challenge the play or agree. And if you challenge the play, you make a different play.
No idea, but I would challenge it. I would play 13-8 and 24-20.
Okay. So Victor comes down and splits. And everybody in the audience got their play? You can come up with a third play if you want. You like John's play? Who likes John's play? Oh, who likes Victor's play? Yeah, most people like Victor's play. Let's show the answer. Let's show the answer. They're both wrong. They're both wrong. Look at that. Now, John's play is much closer and better than Victor's play. So for that reason, John gets a point. The right play is 13-4. Just bring it all the way down. You don't want to get into a hitting battle right now. You don't want to leave shots right now, and that's the reason why 13-4 is better here. Can anybody give me another reason? Because that's what you said? That's a real good reason. Okay, so what Jerry's saying, Jerry Tansey is also clearly one of the better players in the world. He says if you split here, you're just inviting your opponent to attack you. The dilly builder is what he pointed out. That's the extra checker on White's 3-point, and there's very little you can do with that checker unless you make the mistake that Victor made of split. You give him a chance to use that checker to attack you, either making the ace point or even hitting you loose. It can hurt you. Without the dilly builder, depending on where it's at, Victor's play might well be right. But it's interesting. Here's 2 of the best players in the world, and they both didn't get the right play. And this is typical. This proves to you backgammon is a very, very tough game. Nobody has mastered this game. Art, you had a comment? How much did the score? Bill, can you show this for money? I think for money it's going to be the same, is my guess. But change it to money game, Bill. And let's see what XG says. And I always do plus plus when I'm doing XG. The rollout is best, but it takes a little too long for a lecture. But plus plus gives you a pretty good answer of what's going to be right. And Bill's running it right now. And it's the same play. It's
By-
slightly closer. Slightly closer. But look at that. Victor's
Now
play
this
jumped
is
ahead by a tiny bit over
Yeah.
John's play. So this is another illustration. That was a great question. Thank you, Art. This is a great illustration of why you need to know the score and the implications of the score before you start the game, so that you make your checker plays, not just your cube action, right based on the scores. All right, very good. We got another point for John on that one. 2-0. Let's move on. By the way, Victor, do you want to concede now and just go?
I can.
Okay, so we always show the right play, and now we go to white playing a 3-2, and this is Victor's play. Victor has to play 3-2. Cube is still in the center.
I make 5 points.
Okay, Victor makes the 5 point, and leaving a blot on the 7.
And I agree.
You agree. Anybody in the audience make that play? I see all the top players. All the top players make that play. Make that play. Yeah, bring 2 down. Right. Okay. Let's show the answer. I'm sure this is going to surprise a lot of people. It is right, and they both did it very quickly. It's not a horrible play to bring 2 down. That was a pretty close second. But holy cow, you're going to leave an intentional blot here. I guess you wouldn't leave that blot if Black's 4 point was covered. Is that correct? Do you agree with me there?
Oh, yeah. But also maybe on opposite score, we may not be correct.
At the opposite score? That's interesting. Bill, can you reverse the score? And let's see what the right play is. That's a very, very interesting point.
You want to get to the cube.
Now let's see what's right. At the opposite score, you probably bring 2 down. Look at that.
Yep.
Very, very insightful. That's beautiful. Thank you, Victor, for that comment. So again, score is everything. And this is why match play to me is 10 times more interesting and fun than money play, except for the money. No, he doesn't get a point for that.
Consolation point.
No, he doesn't. It's a good observation, but he's not going to get a point. That's not how the game works. Okay, let's go to the next position. By the way, is there anybody that's gotten everything right yet? Jerry's the only one with a chance for that. Everything but one? Jerry, so far? All right. Jerry, you're going to get my first prize. It is a dice salt and pepper shaker. But you got to catch it. Okay. All right, let's move on. Okay, it's Black's play. That's O'Hagan's play to play double 1 here.
Okay, this looks pretty clear. Make the 23 point and cover the 4.
Make the 23 point and cover the 4. Come up with the 2. Victor?
I don't see any other play too.
He doesn't see any other play. I've always said a great player only sees one play, and a player like me, I'll see about 12 different plays. But let's see the answer. I think this one is clear too, and it's not even close.
Yeah.
Why is this play right, John? You made that play.
Well, first of all, White's 8 point is stripped. So if White later on, has to break the 8 point, you have a 6 out. And after you play 6-4 twice, 6-4 with the first 2 aces, you have 2 more. 6-4 again doesn't do anything. If you stay back on the 24, you get gammoned a little bit more. You get primed a little bit more. Yeah, and also I don't know. Those are the main reasons. I say also look at like 4-3. If you stay back on the 24 point and the White rolls a 4-3, makes a 4 point. He only leaves an indirect shot on the 8 point.
Yeah, and Rory pointed out also if you roll a 1 to make the bar point, you've got a direct shot now when you come up.
Well, yeah, that as well.
It's a big favor. Victor, anything to add?
It's just no other play here.
No other play. Okay.
I don't see any other play that can be.
The reason I have this in here, yes, Julius. Okay, what Julius pointed out, you can't hear it on the speaker. A 23-point or 2-point holding game is a better game overall to play out. And by the way, this is a reference for me. There's so many times, just forget the score for a second, just about every game, there's times where you roll a double one or you roll a 2-1 from the bar and you have a choice of staying on the 1 point or going to the 2 point. It's almost always better to be on the 2 point. You get more shots, especially if your opponent's in the outfield. You get more chances to get shots before he's coming in, and you can escape and get off of gammons more easily from the 2 point. As a matter of fact, my reference is with a holding game, a mature holding game where all the checkers are around, you get gammoned about 15% when you're on the ace point and about 8% when you're on the 2 point. So that reason alone is going to help you. And if you have checkers in the outfield, if the opponent still has checkers on the 7 and 8 point, you win the game about 18% of the time from the 2 point, and you win the game about 12% of the time from the 1 point. So it's huge to come up to the 2 point most of the time anyway. But this position, as Victor points out, nothing else makes sense, but it's a good learning experience for most of us. Let's move on. John's still leading 2-0. Okay, now white to play double one after that play. And this is Victor's play.
You give me tougher positions than to John.
Yeah.
I
That's
don't know if you
true.
heard that, but he's claiming I'm giving John the easier positions. Which, yeah. Usually they complain about luck. Now they're complaining about I'm stacking the deck.
All right, 8 to 7,
2 checkers, 8-7,
and the rest I have no idea.
and then he gives up and resigns the match.
All right, let's get creative and switch 5 to 4.
And switch 5-4. Okay, 8-7, 2, and 5-4, 2. John,
I don't agree. I would just play 8-7, 8-5.
8-7,
That was my
2,
second option.
and continue to stack to the 5 point. Right?
Well, 8-7.
8-7,
and
8-5.
8-5.
Okay, 8-7, 8-5. That's right. It's smooth that way. Anybody in the audience have a different idea than those two plays? All right. Thomas Tenlin, one of the top players in the world. What would you do? He said he would make one of those two plays. He's going to go with John's play. Let's show the answer. I think you're going to be surprised. You rolled these out. Why are we doing plus? Oh, they were rolled out, though. We're surprised at how big a difference it is. So John wins this one. Point for John. It's not close.
That's what I get for trying to
Yeah.
be creative.
Yeah.
Trying to be
That's right.
creative.
That's right.
I was going to slot the 4 point here, but that's not real smart either. I was going to play 8-7-2 and 6-4. Where is that? 8-7-2, 6-4. Yeah, there it is. It's the 5th best play. It's only a 23 error. That's not that bad for me. All right, so John gets another point. Way to go, John. Let's go to the next position. Okay. This is another game. No. How did we get to this one? I think we skipped a position, didn't we?
Must have. Or, no, I don't think blue moved.
Yeah, I guess it's an alternative role.
Okay.
Let's just
okay.
play this one, though. But
Okay,
John,
then it's my turn.
John's turn to play a 4-1.
Okay, let's see. Three-way flip. Cube is in the middle. Okay.
Yeah, cube's in the middle.
Trailing. I think you need to play a little pure here. 8-7, 8-4.
Okay.
Yeah, I agree.
Victor agrees. 8-7, 8-4. Slot 4. Anybody have a different idea? There's no other play, according to Rory. Let's take a look. It's no other play. Anything else is a blunder. Usually a blender's 8%, but it came out red at .077. That's because of the score. You don't have to be quite. It would be more dramatic in your match equity loss by making the wrong play. Okay, let's move on. Next position. Okay, black to play double three, and this is
Me.
Victor's play.
I mean, 2 down for sure.
2 down for sure, he says.
Let's say 6-3 twice.
63 twice.
Yeah.
John, what do you think?
I don't know. I don't think that's right. I would just play 8-2 twice.
8-2. Will you make John makes the 2-point. Victor makes the 10-point, and switches. Let's take a look and see what's right. 8-2 twice by a lot. By a lot. Very good work, John. Anybody agree with John on this play? Thomas, yeah, we had several. Anybody agree with Victor on this play? Oh, yeah, we had a couple who agreed with Victor too. All right. So what's wrong? Somebody tell me, or John, tell me why your play is better than Victor.
Well, by playing 13-10 twice, your 3 outfield points are all stripped. So next roll could be a problem. And by making the 2-point, you strengthen your board. White might not cover the 4-point, in which case having a 4-point board is good. And you have spares to play most of your other numbers from the midpoint.
I think the spares is big. And the strip points, those are two very, very good concepts that we all need to keep in mind. White, part of the reason that you need those spares is because white is stripped. White doesn't have too many 6s and 5s that play very comfortably, so you want to have more timing to hold your position than white.
Yeah. Also, you want to be able to hit.
You want to be able to hit. Good point. Okay, next position. But we got John winning 3-0, 4-0. Okay. This is cube action. This is white on roll. By the way you can tell white on roll is the dice are white, which I don't like. And Extreme Gammon is going to be improved eventually and have an arrow and make it very clear who's on roll. This is one of the very tiny flaws of this, in my opinion. Okay, white's on roll. Cube action. Remember that white is trailing 3 away, 2 away.
And is it my turn?
Yes,
John,
it's your
John,
turn,
yeah.
John.
Okay.
Do you double or not? That's all we need to know is if you double.
Let me think about it.
You want to think about it? I don't.
Yeah, I think I do double.
All right, Victor, do you take or pass?
I take.
You take. Now, Victor, do you agree with this cube?
Yep.
And John, do you agree with this take?
Yes.
Okay, let's see the answer. Double take. Very good for both of you. It's not that big a double. .06 is not a very big mistake to make if you didn't double this. But I'll tell you one thing that I always teach also is I think the number one most important tool in thinking about the cube is Woolsey's law, asking yourself what you think your opponent would do. And then if you think your opponent would take, I think the greatest, most ingenious inventions of the game is called O'Hagan's law. I made up O'Hagan's law, by the way. I created O'Hagan's law. I just decided to honor my friend with the name of it. But you ask yourself if there's any market losers, if you're going to lose your market too much. And according to John, if it's a normal score, 25% net is what you need. At this score, maybe it's a little different, but the main reason this is a double, even though it's a big take, is because if you could easily lose your market and be very, very sad. Losing your market means that on the next roll you would get a pass, and you're sorry to get a pass if you can only win 1 point when you might win 2 or 4 by turning the cube. The other thing I teach most people is when you're really not quite sure if you're on the edge of whether you should double or not, go ahead and double. Because if you double, your opponent might make a mistake. He might have gotten Victor to make the wrong decision. If you don't double, there's no way in the world your opponent can make a mistake. So if you're on the edge, double. So be a little bit more aggressive with the cube. I think the biggest mistake with the cube that beginners and lower players make is not being aggressive enough with the cube. Okay. Yes, go ahead, Rory. All right.
doubling a little early rather than a little late.
With the mic, did the mic pick that up? What Rory had to say? I'll repeat it. Yeah. Even though Rory said it, it's right. If the theory is if you don't double, you might forget to double or be wrong doubling the next 5 plays and make a lot of mistakes. But when you double, if you made a mistake, you're only going to make it one time that game. And you had Ed O'Loughlin. Danny Kleinman's principle? I thought I made it up. But Danny was a little ahead of me. Danny's a good friend of mine. I love anybody who hasn't read Danny Kleinman's book. His books are really missing out. I had a question here. Okay, John, what market losers do you think there are? Is what Julius
Well,
asked.
first of all,
Here,
this is
we
not-
can't see the screen well, Bill. Why don't you get rid of that? There you go. Thank you.
okay. First of all, this is not a normal score, so you don't need the 25% market losers.
All right, forget
in
everything I
order to
said. We
double.
don't need the.
Okay. So, whenever you're giving a cube where the opponent will never be able to redouble, like this score, or when, say, very seldom will the leader be able to redouble because of the score, you can. My principle is if you're within 8% of the opponent's true take point and you find 3 or 4 market losers, it's a double. Or a
3 or
redouble.
4 market losers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So here, like, say you cover with like a 9 or a 2, and blue rolls something like 4-2 or something. That's no longer a take. I don't think.
Uh-huh.
And numbers like that. So there's obviously there's more than 3 or 4 market losers here. So yeah, clear double I thought, but it's not that big a double.
It's not that big a double.
But nonetheless.
All right, John brought up another point that I think this is one of the reasons why 2-away, 3-away is interesting. People, when they are losing 2-away, 3-away, and your opponent's 2-away, you're always afraid to give the cube. You give the double and they win the match. But what you're forgetting is what John said, it's a dead cube. They can never recube. One of the reasons we don't cube right away is because of recube vigor, the power of holding the cube. There is no power. Victor can't ever redouble when he's 2-away holding a 2 cube. So actually you should be doubling faster. The other thing to keep in mind is let's say you didn't double and you lose 1 point. Your opponent's got in pretty good shape anyway. They're winning 1-away, 3-away Crawford. They're 75% to win the match. So if you made a mistake and doubled and lost, you've only given up 25% equity. Is everybody with me on that? I learned how to do this math from Art, so I think it's right. Okay. By the way, Art and I and Paul McGrill was one of them. Jake Jacobs is the other one. We're the only people I know that can multiply 2 6-digit numbers in their head. The difference between me and Art and McGrill is I don't get the right answer. Okay, let's go on to the next one. Okay, this is Victor's turn. Is that right?
Yep.
Victor's turn to play 6-1.
Well, let me start thinking.
The cube has been turned, by the way.
A little late, but maybe if I start thinking, maybe. I do play 6 down.
6 down, 13-7 is for sure, he says. By the way, a beginner would play to the ace point, and that's really clearly throwing a checker away. I'm sure that's wrong. Six down and pick up your dice. They might not notice.
Yep. That's what I'm actually considering.
Don't help them. Don't help them.
All right, I don't know. 4-3, whatever.
You lift the blot. 4-3. John, do you agree or do you have another play?
I don't think I agree. I think I'd play big. 13-7, 6-5.
13-7, 6-5. And let's see the answer. And here we got a blunder, according to XG, by John.
Yeah.
And the right play is, amazingly, Victor got one right. I love giving.
You see, but yeah, I first time I thought about that, right? And the reason why I thought it may make sense, though it's of course difficult to make a play like that. It's a quiz factor in that as well, because opponent is two-way, and you kind of you doubling his chance to hit and give him more chance to win a gammon.
Well, of course, the cube's turn, so it doesn't.
The cube is turned.
Oh, I didn't know.
Yeah,
that.
we turned the cube on the previous roll.
Okay, then still, double shot winning chance is probably higher.
That's
Uh-huh.
yeah.
So sometimes it is right to make the safe play. Hey, we get a point
Yeah.
off of John, or add a point to Victor. Yeah. Anybody have any questions about this play? I mean, I wouldn't lift because I don't want to be called a chicken. I mean, it's important. Your ego is very important in this game.
When you get 2 points, you said.
Huh?
I need 2 points.
Oh yeah, you get 2 points when he gets 2 points when he challenges and gets it right. God,
I need them all.
No,
you know?
I
You need
challenged and I was wrong. So he got it right. I challenged, got it wrong. So how many?
that's 2
that is?
points.
2 points.
2 points. Yeah, it's 2
Okay.
points. Yeah. Anytime there's a challenge, whoever gets it right gets the 2 points instead of 1.
Okay.
Yeah, we got to remember that in the scoring. That's why I got Art doing the math here. It's way over my head. How many people are like me would have made the big play and not lifted? Anybody here? Yeah. Ed O'Loughlin probably won more tournaments in the last couple of years than anybody I know, and he would. And this is how he gambles. Won the most tournaments ever of anybody. Wow, I'm impressed. See, you don't have to have brains to win in this game. You just got to. Yeah. By the way, Ed got good the easy way. He just practices for 12 hours a day. That's all. That's all it takes for the last 30, 40 years. And as a matter of fact, it was about 30 years ago. I was at a tournament and I was playing kind of mediocre, and I was admiring Ed's wins. And I said, "How do you get so good?" He took me up to his room and showed me how to use GNU BG. He spent 2 hours with me. He didn't even know me, showing me how to use GNU BG as a learning tool, and that's what got me on the road to trying to get better, because he was my hero and really taught you that it takes deliberate practice. It takes work, and he's the best evidence of that I know.
You know,
Yes.
on this position, I can see why I was way wrong, because my play leaves 2 blots, 20 shots. Victor's play leaves 1 blot and 13 shots. And so those extra 7, you just lose way too often.
Uh-huh.
And the race lead is prohibited.
Exactly. Yeah.
22 shots?
Oh yeah.
22 shots.
22. Sorry.
Okay, so leaving 13 shots instead of 20 shots, that I can do that math. That's 9 more shots. What percentage is that, Art? How many? What percentage is 9 more shots? 9 out of 36. You don't know that? 9 out of 36? It's about 24%, 24, 25%. Now, I have a shortcut that John taught me. There are 36 possible rolls of the dice. All you have to do is multiply the number times 2.778. It's that easy. Because the odds of 1 out of 36 is 2.778. But I found a shortcut John taught me a shortcut. 2.778 is a little bit less than 3%. So anytime if I leave 9 shots, I multiply 9 times 3 is 27, take off about 10%. That's around 24. I'm going to be within a 1% or so all the time. So that's easy math. And that's one of the reasons I love Art's book, The Secrets of Mental Math. He teaches you all these shortcuts. Rory? That's too complicated for me. Rory said 9 over 36 is the same as 1 over 4. No. First of all, I didn't know 1 over 4 is 25%. That you got to know that too. One of the biggest problems in my life is when I'm serious, people think I'm joking, and when I'm joking, people think I'm serious. It happens to me all the time. This is why. By the way, this is why I'm single. I was joking, damn it. Your ass doesn't look that big. All right, let's go on to the next position. Back to backgammon. All right, we got a new game now, starting all over. It's white on roll cube action, and I think it's whose turn is it? It's Victor's turn.
No, it's
John's turn.
John.
John's turn. Victor went first. So white on roll cube action. The only question for you, John, is do you double? And remember, you're losing
you're
3 away, 2 away.
2 away. Yes.
This
double.
is a standard position where you had a double 5 blitz. You do double, and Victor, do you take or pass?
I think I take it.
Okay, this is a reference position for me. After the double 5 and a checker on the 4-point, for money, this is borderline double and a big, big take. And not only that, white wins the game. I'm sorry, black wins the game around very close to 30%, and he gets 40%, and he gets gammon close to 30%. It's a real good reference position to know all these double 5 blitzes. At this score, though, things
You
change.
didn't ask John if he agrees with me.
Oh, I just give you no. I haven't given you the answer yet. Do you agree with the take?
No,
But you
I
gave
don't.
You think it's a pass?
I think it's a pass.
Do you agree with the double? Obviously, you do.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. So John thinks it's a pass. Victor thinks it's. How many people think it's a take? Okay. How many people think it's a pass? Wow, most people think it's a pass. Let's take a look at the answer. Well, if you know the numbers now, I just told you the gammons, and look at how close I was. Gammons are 30%, wins are 38.5. My reference is 40. And because of the score, this is a huge pass. And for money, it's a huge. For money, it's barely a double. In fact, it's borderline whether you double or not. Yeah, well, that's right. For money, the other side can win 9% gammons. Okay, so I think we already know pretty much the answer, but I think this was challenged, and you get 2 points for John because John thought John gets 2 points here. Art. Yeah. So why, John, is this a pass?
Well, the take point using the when you adjust for gammons is roughly 26% plus half of white's gammons. So 26 plus about 15 is about 41%, and doesn't win that often.
So you need 41% to
Well-
take. If you adjust it, and he only wins 38.5.
Now, the other way to adjust for gammons is the way XG does it, which is XG would look at those numbers there and say roughly half of white's wins are gammons, 30 over 61, using round numbers, half. So in other words, if you take, half the time you lose the match, you're 0, and the other half the time you, let's see, you're the leader or the trailer. I'm getting myself confused here. Hang on.
White is the trailer.
Okay. And then half the time you win. Okay. So if you pass, you are 50. You take and lose, half the time you're 0, and half the time you are 100. So this is not working out. No, never mind.
Okay. Gammon adjusted take point, though, is when you take the gammons times the gammon value, add that to your take point, and that gives you a number that you need to win the game. That's one approach that John has taught me, and I use that approach in positions where I am relatively confident I can estimate wins and gammons, which is not that many. So one of the reasons I've switched to, and I learned this from David Presser, I've gone back to looking at Pratt, position, race, and threats, to come up with a much easier approach that somebody who is not as smart as John O'Hagan and Victor in estimating wins and gammons can do. So I recommend you study Pratt as well, but then you still need to adjust for scores like this. There's one other thing I want to mention. What's the name of Dirk Schieman's new book? Theory of Backgammon. Any really advanced player should get that book. Dirk wrote, and he's one of our teachers, works with me and John. He wrote a book that covers this in detail, and he will show you that there are many times where the gammon adjusted take point isn't right because of the recube vig, that even if it shows it as a pass, because you can redouble and get rid of the gammons and many different scores, it doesn't work. But there is no recube here, so that's the reason why you have to use the gammon adjusted take point. Any other questions or comments about this position?
So let me just explain it the way XG does correctly. I got mixed up earlier. Okay, so if you assume that half of white's wins are gammons, okay, if the leader passes, the score is 2-way, 2-way, 50% match winning chance. If they take and lose, half the time they're 0, half the time they're 32. So therefore, on average, when you take and lose, you are about half of 32, which is 16. So the take point is therefore 34 over 84. And I'm not sure what.
34 over 84, Art Benjamin?
Yeah,
Over
Yeah.
40%.
a little over 40, and you're a little under. So.
Okay. So I was at a few years ago, I was at the American Math Association, where all the top math teachers from all over the world, and mostly from the United States, Princeton, Yale, Harvard, and everything, and they had a couple questions on what's the math on here. Nobody pulled out a calculator. They all turned to Art Benjamin to get the answer.
Yeah.
These are all the top. These are all the top people in the world. And Art, of course, is a professor of math at Harvey Mudd, which is much better than Yale or Princeton or Stanford or any of those. All right, let's move on. We got how many points we got here, Art? Art, what's the score here? 6-2. Art, I really appreciate your work, your efforts here in keeping score. I'm going to give you one of these scoreboards from the Backgammon Learning Center for your help. Okay, let's move on. These scoreboards, by the way, www.backgammonlearningcenter.com. Commercial. Okay, where are we? We're in a new position, and now what's going on here?
Is it a cube decision?
Must be a cube decision. Oh, black is on roll. You can see the dice up in the upper left-hand corner. Black is on roll, cube decision. Now black is leading as you 2-away, 3-away, and it's Victor's turn to decide whether he should double or not. Okay.
Okay.
Shh. Victor's thinking.
Trying to think.
Yeah, but
finally.
he's used to thinking with noise. He's married to Alia. I played Victor in a major tournament in New York. I got very lucky and beat him. Alia was standing right there, and she turned to him and she hit him. And she said, "How did you let that dumb little jerk beat you?"
All right, I double.
All right, Victor doubles. Do you take or pass, John?
Well, first of all, do you want me to tell you, should I agree with his?
Either way, you can do it.
Okay, I would
either way.
say no double, take.
Okay, so you challenge the double,
Yeah.
and Victor, do you challenge the take?
I think I pass.
Okay, we got a double challenge. I have no idea how to score this. That's why I've got Art Benjamin here. They both challenge each other. Victor doubles and thinks it's a pass.
But I'm steaming, guys. I'm losing.
He's steaming. That's right. And John doesn't think it's a double and thinks it's a take. So we got a real big disagreement on this one. And here's two of the best players in the world totally disagreeing. Again, back. Yes, Art? It's a 4-point swing.
That's why I did it. Aaron.
Let's see the answer. Wow. No double take. So I think they tied. John won all of them?
Won all of them.
Wow. John gets 4 points?
Yeah.
So it's not a double, it's a take. Victor thought it was a double and a pass. John, I think you're up on this one. Why is this not a double?
Yeah, mainly because if you do double, your gammons become meaningless, right? And look at that, 21% of the time you win a gammon, so you're better off just playing on for the gammon. And
What's the gammon value if you don't double for the leader?
For the leader, it's 1.0, I believe.
Oh, you're right.
Yeah. Okay. And also, if you do double, if white takes, white can go all out for the win. Whereas if you don't double, white's got to really be worried about losing a gammon in the match.
Okay, so what John's saying is if he doubles and you take the cube, you immediately redouble because you're not going to let the cube sit at 2 when your opponent needs to. and you're playing for the match and you win 30% of the time, and the gammons, you no longer have to worry about those 20% gammons. I think you might even win more if you don't have to worry about gammons. You can play more aggressively. You can stay back forever. John,
Right.
Victor, any comments?
No, just not doing it in the morning again.
I love you. You're the best. Okay. How many people got this one right? Wow, that's great. I didn't get it right. I was doubling. Let's move on, because I think one of the biggest problems you have when you're leading, it's hard to double. But when you know your opponent's take point is 25%, you really should be doubling if they're close to 25%. Certainly when they're under 25%, because you're better off giving the cue. But 30% when you also have these gammons involved, that's different. If there were no gammons involved at 30%, you might have a double in a race or something like that. You could be close enough because you might have enough market losers. But you're, like John said, you're throwing away all those gammons you might win to win the match.
Over the board, all you have to do is ask yourself, do I want to play for a match from here?
Yeah, and I said yes, and so did Victor. Okay, let's move on. Oh, 5-1 to play. Okay, so from the bar, you have to come in with a 1 or a 5, and this is John's turn.
My turn. Right?
John's turn. Again, the cube is in the center. White is trailing 3 away, 2 away, and has a 5-1 to play.
Okay. Well, let's
Now, if you're a
see
good
here.
player, you bring the checker in on the 1, then look around for a 5, and then you bring the checker in on the 5 and look around for a 1, and then compare the plays.
Well. This is interesting. All right. So I don't think you want to enter on the 20. I think just bar 24 and then 13-8.
Okay. Bar 24, 13-8 is John's play. Victor?
Bar 24, 8-3.
8-3. Okay, so you both
Yes,
agree
one
to
or the other.
you both agree to come in on the 24. Victor likes slotting the 3-point. John likes coming down. Let's see the answer. And the answer is you come in on the 20. They're both wrong. And coming in on the 24 is a major blunder,
Yeah.
but they didn't challenge each other. They didn't challenge each other.
But my play is better.
Your play is better.
Yeah, his play is better.
His play is better by quite a bit. I think we got to give Victor a point here because it's a lot better.
Yeah. I agree.
And why do you come in on the 20? You're both wrong about that.
I thought you just tried to not to lose a gammon at this point.
And that was my thinking as well. Yeah.
So coming in on the 20, how many more gammons do you lose than coming in on the 24? It goes from 30.
Hardly any.
Stays the same. It's the same exactly. It's not even. It's 36.9 both times.
So
And also
Hold on.
6-5 doesn't look that sexy as well.
Well, XG loves making the 5-point, and you're much more likely to make it by going 6-5. But 4-3 is certainly close because you have double covers. The
right.
reason 13-8 is bad, we know it's pretty obvious that you're stripping your midpoint
True,
and you're
yeah.
stacking. Stripping and stacking sounds like a pretty bad approach. Okay. Did anybody get this right in the audience? Yeah, great. Leslie, very good. Very good. Okay, let's go on. All right, it's black on roll cube action, and it's John's turn, right?
No.
Victor went
No,
first.
it's me.
I keep getting that backwards. Okay, it's Victor's turn. Black on roll cube action, and again, black is leading 2 away, 3 away.
No double.
No double. John,
I agree with no double.
so you both agree that it's a take. Who says you got a double? Eric? Eric Heiner? My buddy. Thank you, Eric, for losing to me in Wisconsin in the finals. I enjoyed that very much last time, and I'm going to try and make it to Wisconsin again this year. Okay, let's take a look. Let's see if the Giants are better than Eric, and they're right. It's not a double. So why isn't this a double, Victor?
Just gammon chances looks pretty decent. I don't see, I just would keep playing. I think why introduce the double and kill your gammons? Seems like you can only improve and no reason to play for a match.
Uh-huh.
You can get it for free.
Okay, you can win the match by winning gammons 25% of the time. Why throw that away?
Right.
Any other questions or comments about this one? All right, let's move on. Sorry, Eric. Okay. Black to play 2-1. This is John's turn.
Okay.
Again, Black is leading 2 away, 3 away.
All right. Let's see. How do I figure this out? I think 8-5 hitting.
8-5 hit. Victor?
Yeah, I agree. I think you need to play big here and also no cube.
All right, we have one of the few times they agree on a checker play. 8-5 hit. Anybody have a different play they like? Yeah? What do you like? 13-11, 6-5 from the audience.
Actually, it's a decent move too. It could be best.
It's a decent move.
Making the bar isn't bad either. Yeah.
No, 15-13 maybe because double 5 hit twice.
Yeah.
Now, as Victor pointed out, if you play 15-13, you save the double 5 joker. And that's something I think is really, I've noticed about all the Giants. They see the jokers. They immediately see great plays that their opponents can roll because they remember well when it happens to them. You won't forget a double 5 here if you leave the double shot.
So in fact, I'm changing 15-13 and 6-5.
Okay, you're changing 15-13. I don't think I can allow you to change after getting help from the audience. I mean,
Then
that's
don't.
cheating. That's what I would have done at the Bellagio tournament. Okay, let's take a look at the answer.
Just make the bar.
Make the bar. Everybody's instinct is to hit here. No points because they both got it wrong. Yeah. Who said make the bar? Thomas Tenlin. Yeah. Thomas, what do you rank? Number 3 in the BMAB right now? Are you ranked number 3 in the B? You were up there. Maybe 10? You were at one point you were one of the top in the world.
I didn't even see you can make a bar.
You didn't even see it. Okay, so why is it wrong to hit here?
Well, that gives you 5 out of 6 blocking points. Notice that White's 3s are duped to hit in cover, and you're well ahead in the race. I mean, it makes perfect sense after you see the XG evaluation. Over the board, we just missed it.
Uh-huh. And by the way it hits is the pick and pass.
Yeah.
Did you notice that?
Yeah, no contact.
Yeah.
No contact. I mean, even if you're going to hit, you pick and pass. I don't know many people that would make that play. I certainly wouldn't. Uh-huh. How bad is lifting both? I don't think it's shown anywhere.
Yeah, second best.
Oh yeah, it's the second best play, but it's a 15% error, blunder. It's like a double blunder. You got to take some action here, but it's better than the loose hit though.
Yeah.
Wow. I mean, this I found this very, very interesting, and I believe Falafel got this one right. I'm pretty sure, as I recall, Falafel got this one right, and we were all shocked. Yeah. And by the way, if Falafel was here, he would do terrible on the numbers. This guy, he didn't know the numbers anywhere near as well as John and Victor, but he played every bit as good as they did. I'm sure, or close to it, mostly by just practice and instinct. It's visual. Yeah, there's many ways to get good. The best players are good at both math and visual, but you can become darn good at visual. But one of my favorite players is David Wells. When you ask him why the play is right, he says, "Oh, it just looks good. He feels good." That's his only explanation, and he plays that way, and he plays as good as most players in the world. Okay, let's move on. Next position. What's our score, Art? No points. 10-3, John's winning. Okay. So, Victor, you got to be steaming. We don't have that many positions left. But I have a second place prize if he comes within a few points. Whose turn is it
It's
now?
me.
Okay, Victor's turn to play 3-2.
13-10 hit and 8-6.
Okay. He hits and plays 8-6. John?
Yes, I agree.
Anybody in the audience have a different play? Hitting? No? Herb Roman makes that play. It must be wrong. Although, wait a minute. Today is Sunday. Huh? Make the 20. Make the 20. Make the 5-point, I'm hearing. Okay. So neither of our Giants make the 20 or the 5-point. They hit and play 8-6. Let's see what the answer is. And hit and 8-6 is right by a bunch. Making the 20 is way down there, and making the 5.
Making 20 actually made this blunder very recently in a very similar position, so it was easy to remember.
Okay, what Victor's saying is he remembers his play because he made this mistake recently. I have another favorite saying. I have many favorite sayings, but one of my favorites is you don't learn by experience, you learn from your mistakes. And a giant like Victor, he remembers bitterly every mistake he's ever made, and he won't make it a second time. I remember every time I do it the 6th time. I remember it. I'll never make it again. Okay, any questions about this play? What's so wrong?
Oh, because you're losing the race by mile. You want more contact. Staying back is giving you more contact.
Okay, Victor just hit on one of the most critical points in backgammon. In your checker play, you're losing the race. Your game plan isn't to get up there. Your game plan is to stay back, and you need to get a shot and hit it. So, again, one of the most important concepts in backgammon, and you'll find this in Roberti's and McGill's books back in the 70s and 80s, is your game plan. What is your basic theory for how you're going to win the game? And you're not going to win the game by moving up and racing. You need to stay back here. You need to. Well, you make your opponent's bar, but if you make the 20-point, you're going to get far fewer shots, and eventually you're not even going to be able to stay on the 23-point because you're either going to get pointed on or you better get out of there to keep from getting gammon. Leslie? Okay, so Leslie's saying the right play does give your opponent a joker double 5. And again, that happens 1 out of 36 times. That's 2.778%. And you don't want to be hit, but again, you're right. If you get a 4th checker back, you could make a double anchor and have more of a game. That's the upside if you get hit, but you'd rather not get hit. Your goal is to not get hit. Well,
Yeah, and also if you make the correct play and black rolls a 5-4 or 5-6 or 3-2 or 4-1, you have a chance to make the second anchor on the 20-point there. And also, never forget that the opponent will dance with 4 numbers out of 36. So,
okay.
when in doubt, hit.
Let's move on. I've been told to go a little faster because the tournament starts at 11. We got 20 minutes, but let's move on. Next position. No points there. They both agreed and both had the right play. What an amazing thing to happen. Okay, it's white on roll, cube action.
My turn.
John's turn.
Okay.
And again, white is trailing 3 away, 2 away.
All right. Double.
You doubled,
Yeah, I agree with them.
and do you take or pass?
Who answers?
Victor's got to decide whether to take or pass.
Sorry.
I'll pass.
John, do you agree?
No, I think it's a take.
You think it's a take? Okay, they both agree on the double, and John thinks it's a take. Victor thinks it's a pass. How many think it's a take? Herb Roman thinks it's a pass. Everybody else thinks it's a take.
I'm doomed then.
You're doomed. You're doomed because you agree with Herb Roman. That's right. Let's see. Let's move on. Let's see the answer. It is a double and a big take. Big take. So who gets the point there?
John.
John gets the point. It was a challenge.
Yeah,
He gets 2 points. He gets 2 points. John gets 2 points there. Okay, John, why are you taking this?
There's not that many gammon losses, and you have a variety of ways to win this game. You can roll a good double, like double sixes or double fours. If white doesn't make the 20-point, you can maybe white will run out part of the way into blue's outfield. You'll hit, and white will dance a while, and you can win from there. And worst case, you have a ace-point game, which might be reasonably timed, might not be, but you just have a variety of ways to win, and not that many gammon losses. So that's how I would look at it.
Now, in my money games, I see a tremendous number of players make the mistake of passing these ace-point holding games, and they're almost always takes because you don't get gammon that much if you have a couple of open points like the 4-point and the bar point. If either the bar point or the 4-point were made, then black's 2 checkers back on the ace point are pretty dismal. It's a huge difference to have those 2 points open. Any other questions or points about this position? Let's move on. Score, Art? 12-3. Okay, let's go. Next position. We're going to quit in time whether we finish. We only have 2 more. All right, we'll be done in 10 minutes or less. Okay, this is another total different position with blue on roll, black on roll, cube action. Again, black is leading 2 away, 3 away, and it's Victor's turn, isn't it?
Oh, it's mine?
Yeah, Victor's first. Do you double?
I do not double.
And John, do you agree? And then do you take or pass?
I agree.
You agree? And obviously then you're taking if you think it's no double, right?
Well, not necessarily. Let's see.
Life is not that simple.
Let's see. Is it a take for the trailer?
No double pass?
I mean, there's gammons involved. That's the reason.
Okay,
why
okay.
it's- I think it's. All right. All right. I'll say take.
Take.
Okay. You both agree take and no double. Anybody disagree out there? All right, let's take a look at the answer. Let's move on. And it is no double, big take. They're both right. And again, I think a lot of it's about market losers, and it's also about 23% gammons that black wins if he
Right.
doesn't double. Right, John?
But black,
Right.
Go ahead. Victor?
black position is just not formed enough to give a cube. When you 2 away against 3 away, you just don't want to introduce the cube.
Uh-huh. White wins 29%, so if you turn the cube and white redoubles, he's going to win the match 29% of the time, and those gammons get thrown out the window. This is a repeating theory that we're hearing, and I think when you walk away today, I hope you'll all be much better at this score. You should be a lot wiser just by doing this. This is deliberate practice. This is how you get better in backgammon. Yes, Art? Where there's time, sure. Bill, can you look at this for money?
Well, it should be
I think-
double for money. I mean, it
Yeah,
looks
I
like
think
a
it's double.
clear double for money.
It's a clear
And
double.
a take as well, bro.
I don't know. The gammon adjusted take point would make it a pass.
It's
I
a
think.
double take for money.
I think it's a pass for
Take.
money.
Take for money.
It's a
Must
take for
be.
money.
Yeah.
0.08. See, I was right. I said it was a take, didn't I? I got witnesses. Yeah, you heard me say it was a take. Okay, let's go to the next one, and then we'll do. This will be the last one because I want everybody to have plenty of time to get set for the matches. I don't really have to get set for mine, unfortunately. Okay, so we got another cube action problem. This time white is on roll. White again is trailing, but this is a 4-away, 2-away. Oh, this is a sample. This is a 4-away, 2-away position where opening roll, white rolled a 4-2 and black split with a 5-2, and white is on roll. And this is just a quiz for the audience, not for you guys. This is too easy for you. How many people think it's a double? Got a few hands. How many people think no double? Okay, my reference position is white opens with 5-3 and black splits. It's a double. So 4-3, 3-1, 6-1, clear double at this score. Show the answer, Bill. This is why you really need to understand the score situation. At 2 away, 4 away, when you turn the cube, your gammon value goes to 1, 1.0, and your gammon losses don't matter at all. So it's huge anytime the opponent is split, anytime you can smell any kind of gammons at this score to turn the cube. This is missed more often than anything you can imagine. In fact, last night in a big match, it was Dimitri was playing Kate Elmore, and Kate missed this she won the match, so I'm not embarrassing her, but she missed 2 away, 4 away cubes for this very reason, how much it turns into gammons. So we've got a big victor here, and John O'Hagan did a fantastic job, gets this gorgeous watch from Bel Air Time.
Thank you.
And your second place, you get a kiss from me. Would you like to collect?
I promise to be better over the board.
Victor always does better over the board. Thank you all for coming and participating. Thank you. Thank you. Oh, who in the audience would like a great book, free, called Backgammon for Losers? It's a great book. It's a wonderful book. Got a lot of good information in it. By Simon Hill, a friend of mine, my student from England. I got one left.